So how does it feel to be a preacher now? Now you had your first sermon on the 31st of May here at Kelowna Mennonite, and how do you feel?
What is your favorite Bible word and why? How should we treat sinful people? Are there jobs that Christians shouldn't do?
Relish, pleasing or zestful flavor.
A quantity just sufficient to flavor, to be pleased or gratified by, enjoy.
We are hoping that what we bring to your table today might add some spice to your life.
Welcome back to another episode of Relish. I am your host, Rowan Miller. This is Pastor Don Patterson.
It is.
Don, how are you doing today?
We're doing good. It's been a busy time of year. I thought once school was out, everything would slow down. No.
Yep.
That has not been
not at all.
This has not been the case. So I have a question for you right off, coming out of the chute.
Okay.
So how does it feel to be a preacher now? Now you had your first sermon on the 31st of May here at Kelowna Mennonite, and how do you feel? Get good feedback?
Yeah, I got a lot of good feedback from the church and from family members that watched it online, or some of them came. But yeah, I think it was definitely something else that the week leading up to it for me. It was, if I knew that was the week I was going to have when the Sunday I was preaching, I might have asked you, can I get a different
Yeah,
Sunday?
let's go for a different date. Yeah.
But
wow. Yeah. You graduated the week before, and you had state golf on Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday was AP English test that had to be made up because I was too busy to take it before. Yes.
And then what was that night? A baseball game that night, which I hadn't swung a bat until the baseball game.
Right.
And
no practice ahead of time, just walked up to the plate.
Yep.
Home run, right? Not that
game, but
okay. Yeah. I just had to put it out there that, that's something now that you've done. You can say you've preached a message.
Yep. Yeah. Overall, it went better than I was.
Okay. Very good.
Maybe expecting, but yeah.
Praise the Lord. I'm glad to hear that. You didn't get nervous and melt underneath the pulpit and have to be swept up, later on. Yeah. It's good when you don't have total meltdown. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All righty. Well, get into the questions here for you. What is your favorite Bible word and why?
Bible word would have to be agape. Shalom's right behind it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agape. And the reason I use the Greek word is because it actually talks more about it than if we say, love.
Yeah.
I mean, love. In our English language, I'm almost thinking that love has become sort of benign. It really has no meaning. It has nothing. It's nothing. But in the Greek, that agape word has that sacrificial love that we identify with Christ. And to think that we could maybe live towards that as human beings towards each other, I think that's a very powerful word. Shalom's right after it. And that's Old Testament word for peace, but it has the connotations of, I desire that the broken pieces in your life come together. It's a blessing. So, shalom's right there. Peace.
Maybe you could...
Peace, love, shalom. Yeah.
Maybe you could add some words to the Webster Dictionary and make English a little more colorful.
Yes. Yes. I think we should do that for love.
Yeah.
I really think we have... we need to have words that reflect all those biblical connotations that we can use. Yeah. A new word for love.
I will read a lot different.
It would. Yeah. Especially when you get to John 21 and you realize, there's two different words for love being used in that passage between what Jesus is asking of Peter and what Peter responds. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And I think we've covered that in this study before.
Yeah.
That's very powerful, using those two different words.
Yeah. How should we treat sinful people?
That's a good one, because often we treat them like the Old Testament does. Yeah, sinful people. Well, we put them on the outside.
Mhm.
They're out there. The trouble is, we've all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God.
Right.
1 John 1:9. So we have to. I think we, as Christians in this generation, need to start understanding that we've all sinned and are in need of grace, God's grace.
Mhm.
So I want to treat the sinner the way I want to be treated, because I'm a sinner too. That being invitational, then, to say, hey, I found what Jesus can do for me and my sin, and I invite you to it. So it should be, we should treat sinners more like Jesus did, and sit down with them and have lunch with them and greet them as fellow human beings and walk them towards Jesus.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's really how we ought to treat sinners. I think we have a hard time doing that
Right.
because we're afraid, just like the Pharisees in Jesus' time, it might rub off on us. And we get messed up like they're messed up. And so we tend to be a little pharisaical about how we treat sinners.
Yeah.
So yeah, we should treat them like Jesus did.
Yeah. And you have to be conscious of like their habits and kind of what they do, so as you don't do the same.
Right.
And it's kind of a balancing act between.
And that's an important piece, because while Jesus still ate and drank with sinners, he made it very clear that if you don't take care of your sin, you won't be in the kingdom.
Right.
And so you're right. You've got to be careful, walk mindfully maybe, into this greeting and this interaction. But Jesus did it. So why shouldn't we be able? Yeah, because he was Jesus. But I think that's part. I root the question all the way back in to the fact that we should be reflecting more of Jesus. In other words, as we interact with the world around us, we should look more like Jesus to them and act like Jesus to them. We should be so much like Jesus, we're called Christ-like. That's where Christians started, because these individuals didn't promote themselves, but projected Jesus into the community where they lived.
Mhm.
Yeah, Antioch.
You mentioned grace when you were answering that question, and there's actually a question on here. What is grace, and why is grace important?
God's riches at Christ's expense. So we have to realize that grace that's been extended from God to us was purchased at the price of Christ's life. And so it will cover our sin. We have to accept it. It's a gift. And it is, it takes away our sin. It covers our sin, gives us a buy on what we would have to pay for our sin. That's grace. God's riches at Christ's expense. So it covers that sin. It's sort of connected to mercy. Mercy is not receiving what we do deserve. And so I think sometimes we forget that our sin really deserves condemnation.
Mhm.
I mean, the things that we do that sin is missing the mark that God has for us as individuals. When we sin and miss that mark that God would have us be and do, that's sin. That is going against God. It's going against his principles. It's going against his values, and if you will, tarnishing his image. So that's sin. Grace is when we accept that gift of God through Jesus Christ, and it covers that sin. And mercy is the fact that we don't get all the penalty we do deserve.
Mhm.
So, really sounds like a good deal, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I I know the first day of NYF every year when in Sunday school when you get the new students in, that was the very first thing that our sponsors went over was got to know the difference between grace and mercy.
Yes.
That's the only time they would ever
Well,
use
then
the
you could have
chalkboard.
answered the question.
I could have.
Yes.
Only time they ever used the chalkboard, and then when you graduate, they said that's the most important thing that you take away.
It is.
There, but
It is. And not only take away, but give away.
yeah,
And so it's something that you take with you. It's something we walk into in our Christian life. We don't carry around, we're not carrying around grudges because of grace. In other words, we've been forgiven, we forgive. And so a person that's not forgiving, you wonder, maybe they need to do a little work there and get back on task again. Have we done it well? No, we haven't done it well. We can work on that.
yeah.
I think we all can work on that a little bit more. Mercy and grace. Yeah.
Mhm.
Did I catch most of that?
Got it.
And you know it, so you can check the
Yeah,
answer.
yeah.
That's good.
Alrighty. I think we'll close with this one. Are there jobs that Christians shouldn't do?
Well, yeah, I probably executioners. I mean,
As one of them.
I was just sort of going for, yeah, executioners probably should. Yeah, I'd say we probably shouldn't be doing that job.
Mhm.
I'm going through my head other jobs
I've heard of
that we shouldn't do.
like bartenders being kind of debated.
It's been debated. Yeah. And I would have a hard time doing that. But I've heard of some bartenders that have quite a interesting clientele that they actually are influencing towards Christ.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, not discotheque, strip club owner,
Oh, yeah.
maybe. That's probably one Christians ought to shy away from. Yeah. That sort of captures, maybe not strip club owners and strippers, bars and all the things. Let's do that in broad strokes, okay? Maybe executioners.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd have a hard time making a case for being a bartender, a Christian bartender, but you almost could. But I'm not sure you can make a case for the others.
Yeah. I don't think you should try.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We're not going to try. But those are the ones that came to mind right away. I haven't.
Yeah.
I think the flip side of it is, as we enter any vocation, no matter what it is, we enter it with the mindset of Christ. Okay, so He's given us certain skills and abilities, and as He's given us these skills and abilities, is it for your honor and glory? No, it's for Christ's honor. It's for God's glory. It's more than just us. In other words, as we go to Romans chapter 12, is the one that comes to my mind right away, is the fact that these things were not given just for us, but they're given for something bigger. And so, just as many of us have one body with many members, and members do not all have the same function, so in Christ we're many and form one body, and each member belongs to all the others. We have different gifts according to the grace. Grace. Notice that grace is there. Grace given us. If a man's gift is prophesying, let him use it in proportion to his faith. In serving, let him serve. If it's teaching, let him teach. If it's encouraging, let him encourage. And contribute to the needs of others, let him give generously. If it's leadership, let him govern diligently. If it's mercy, let him do it cheerfully. I think we have these. I was thinking of an architect that I know that seems to specifically work with churches, and he's worked with our congregation, and it's as if he knows the intent of the people and the congregation. And I've seen him work with 2 different church buildings, and he sort of captures what they want and makes it architecturally possible. And like what he did with this building, you can't tell that there was an addition made 2 years ago.
Right.
It's seamless, and his heart is to serve the Lord that way. So why not? And so I'm saying, I don't know what. Let's see. What are you going to be a lawyer? Anyway, whatever this is.
Maybe. I don't know if I want to do 7 years of school, but
Well, I know somebody else that talked like that too, and ended up doing 7 or 8 years of school.
right.
So be careful.
Yeah.
These things happen. Giving it. When we become Christians, we don't only become spiritually Christian, we become physically Christian, and all the gifts and abilities we're given are God's. We give our lives as a offering, if you will, to God. No matter what we're doing, whether we're farming 1,000 acres or whether we're a banker, that work we do as Christians is work we do to honor God. And in the midst of that, I find God gives us specific blessings in that work.
Yeah.
Because we're giving it to Him. It's His work. It's to His honor, to His glory, to manifest His kingdom, not our own. Yeah. So it's a major thing. Yeah, I can't get back to the executioner doing that or the strip club owner, but in our vocation, we honor and glorify God.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Thank you, Don, as always. Thank you for answering the questions. Thank you guys for sending them in.
And if we didn't get quite answered, you can guys get back with us. See if
I think we did pretty good this episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're satisfied.
Yeah.
That's good.
Thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Lord willing.
Thank you for joining us for this podcast. Feel free to become part of this ministry by sharing it with others. Our goal is to help each other grow deeper in our understanding of who God is and His calling to us in our daily lives. Thank you again for joining us, and may God bless your day.